Hello, everybody. This is the Artist and the Thinker. We have a quick, well, very world-knowing discussion because everyone in the world probably knows what has currently just happened, and that is that Trump decided to put us in the war that was being, I can't even get my words together, that has been going on between Israel and Iran. Sending three bombs to destroy what they call nuclear plants that were holding these so-called missiles. Um, we pretty much just entered into a war that we didn't need to be in, and there are going to be some kind of consequences. It's going to be, I feel like, life altering for the United States.
Um, Terrence B. the Thinker here. And we have things in place for a reason. Like I've always said, like you have to go through Constitution in order to even invoke or be introduced into a war. Or saying that we're all in agreement, we're gonna intervene in this war. There's certain things that you have to go through. Trump has just jumped over all that nonsense. He said, "Nah, fuck all that. We gonna bomb first." I'm like, we've never bombed first. We've either had a situation pop off where, quote unquote, 9/11, and then we react. But we all know that, like, there's conspiracy theories behind that. But Trump, which just went directly against, if this doesn't get him impeached or get him kicked out of office, I don't know what will. Because now you're provoking war on the behalf of America, and you haven't even went through the right process to even do it. You know what I'm saying? To go about going into war. You just actually just said, you know what, we're gonna bomb first. But you're supposed to be the president of a no war president. You know, but in doing that, bombing first, you've declared war. And now it's gonna be like I'm with Sweets. We're gonna have to answer for that. And it's sad because the American people as a whole had nothing to do with it. And if drafts pop off, trust me, people are not going. They're not gonna go. If he tries to induct a draft, pop off, people are not gonna go. And so here we are. This man just bombed first. It's freaking ridiculous. I'm like, you putting us in a predicament where we're gonna have to answer for it. We're gonna have to, like, really be in this. And nobody wants to. We don't even like you. So, sorry.
So I don't think a draft is. I think a draft is the least of our worries. Um, and the reason why I say I think that's the least of our worries right now is right now what just happened. People are quick to say, "Well, Iran doesn't have missiles that can reach the United States,"
Mm,
but he does have two allies. Well, three, but they are tied up in their own wars. So before I get onto them, he by him doing this puts a target on so many American citizens and military in the Middle East because we have bases all around.
yep.
Iran made it very clear that they would start attacking them. And to not think that their president didn't think that Trump would do this, we are delusional.
Very.
Um, if you look at how they went about with Israel, they were very strategic on what they did. And if, Egypt, I'm saying Egypt, I'm sorry, with Israel, they they are supposed to have the best military in the world. So they could have fought their fight on their own.
Yep.
Um, and that's a horse of a whole nother color of what they have done to the Gaza Strip and everything. But when you talk about the allies that Iran has, you have China, you have Russia, who are allies. Now, yes, Russia is tied up with Ukraine, and yes, China is too busy trying to get Taiwan. Then you have North Korea. North Korea done expanded a lot of their military to Russia for them to fight Ukraine, and Ukraine still ain't backing down. So there's a lot going on that they might have distractions, but once again, they are still allies. Like, we got a lot going on over here, but we still the only ones out of all the other nations that kept saying that this war is not a war for us to get involved in. So I think one of the craziest things is we have some Americans that will make excuses for all of his actions, every single one of them, down to accusing Obama for allowing Iran to get any type of nuclear anything and not understanding that nuclear does not necessarily mean bombs. There's a nuclear power plant down the street from my house, and it actually supplies power to people. Then you got people saying, well, we're all supposed to stand with Israel. If you know, like make sure the people you stand in are the real actual God's chosen people. But that is another horse of a whole nother color as well.
Yep.
But if you read some of the things that people have said who are still siding with this, here's the reality. This is a cold, hard reality. It's all fun and games until they are your daughters, your sons, your children, until the war is in your backyard. We lack the ability to understand that America, we are not everything. We dehumanize other people in other countries, and they are constantly losing their lives, innocent lives being lost because you have people who have power in office who can't help but create more chaos.
Yep. Just can't help it.
Over and over and over. Like, there are so many people what has been going on in Israel, what was going on in the Gaza Strip was crazy. What was going on in Ukraine, all these countries, Congo, it's like my heart is just heavy all the way around because so many innocent lives are just being lost for pointless wars. Just pointless wars.
This
So
this is something that, like, we look back on as a people, and I believe this is something that we'll look back on and be like, what have we done? What have we
I don't think it's a we thing.
No, not
It's
like
not
I'm
a we thing
saying
for
that.
us.
I'm not saying us specifically. I'm
And
saying
when I say
people.
us, I mean a lot of Americans. Reason why
Yeah,
I said us, I think because right now, the people who are agreeing are just the ones in the cult. These are the cult members, because when Marjorie Taylor Greene gets her butt up there and she says, we do not need to be in this, and you know how hard Marjorie rides for Trump.
yep,
When you have Tucker going in on Ted Cruz about how this is crazy. And I mean, Tucker lost his job, lost everything going behind Trump.
yep.
And some of these lawyers, because it's chaos. It's unnecessary chaos. And this is one thing, because people talk about they got stuff underground just in case. Something pop off, the rich, the elite, and the politics. Politicians got stuff underground. Well, honey, you can only run from God's wrath but so long. And that's all I got on that part.
Yeah, for real, for sure, for sure.
Because
'Cause
this is just crazy. It's
and I found
and the
it. Oh,
sad part is, hmm?
go ahead, Sweets. Go ahead, finish your statement.
The sad part is all of us for the past couple of days have been sitting here waiting for it to find out if he is, if he isn't. Is he we're going to war? We're not going to war. We have been doing that. Imagine people in Iran, they've probably been doing the same thing. Like, is he going to attack us? Is he not going to attack us? Just sitting there waiting. Just waiting, because we know the unpredictables of this president. He's going to either do one. He either was going to cower it out, or he was going to try to show that he had power. For what? For what?
It doesn't.
And it's so sad because we see these videos of these people in the army, and they get these locks to the stake. One dude knew. He just knew. It wasn't like the girl who was all naive. It was the boy. He knew. He knew what was up. There was no getting around it. There was no celebration for them to be getting what they got.
Yeah.
And it's like we have so many of them sitting over there right now, not knowing what could possibly happen. For what? But go ahead, I'm sorry.
And then, and this is the thing that pisses me off. He said he bombs first, right?
Mm-hmm. And then wants
then
peace.
has the nerve to start preaching peace. Now is the time for peace. What the fuck?
I got one good. I got one even better than that. So somebody said under that post. Someone said under that post, they were like, because people are like, you're starting a war, right? How is it wanting a peace and you just started a war? Someone said, 3 bombs doesn't equal a war. I'm like, really? This is delusional here. So someone said something like, oh, 3 bombs don't equal a war. So I guess we just say Pearl Harbor had nothing to do about starting a war. It was just a bomb. It was just a exercise, right? Just a bomb exercise. That's what we're going to chop that up to. No. He literally initiated himself, inserted us into this.
And he did it. And like I said, I'll go back again. He did this without going through the proper channels of like what we're supposed to do. If we're really gonna put ourselves in the middle of this.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even go through the proper channels, which isn't that against the law it too?
Mm-hmm.
Now I was like, if that doesn't get him kicked out of office, I don't know what will. Because now you're really starting to make moves without even talking to the people that are responsible for making the actual decision to say, yes, we are going to get involved in this war. You know what I'm saying? Saying we're going to get involved. You didn't even do that. You just said, bomb them. What? I bet you the people even pushing the button was like, you want us to what now? But for him to do that shows that like he doesn't care about the repercussions of what can happen or what this can genuinely lead to.
You don't care.
You pretty much made an enemy out of all of our allies. You've isolated.
But here's the thing, and this is what even adds more insult to it, is a lot of times what the president does, they sit with their people, their top military people, and you really sit here and you strategize everything. You know?
Sorry about that.
You don't have qualified people there anymore. The people he has put in place are not qualified people. You fired so many people who were sound voices to be heard. You guys have sat here and I mean, let's be honest. Our country had its own spiral, but this right here is a spin like no other. But you're still going to have people that's going to justify these actions. They're going to keep justifying these actions, and the only thing that's going to change them is when it's in your backyard.
Yep.
And for people to believe that it cannot come to us, you are living in a delusion. Think about it.
You're
We
sadly
are,
mistaken.
yes, I mean, just think about it like this. When we talk about nuclear bombs, when we talk about destroying somewhere, now there are two neighboring countries next to us.
Yeah.
There are. There are two countries. We sit in between two other countries that we have made war with.
Yep.
Not war, but we have broken our peace.
Yep.
If I was a country in a whole nother continent away that knew if I sent something powerful over there that could destroy that place, it's not going to affect the people around me if I'm on a whole nother continent away. So you got to think about them two big allies that you have constantly made war with. And I'm going to tell you a country that people sleeping on. Egypt.
For sure.
It sounds so far-fetched. It might sound far-fetched to some people, but Egypt is right across the water from Israel. It's right across the water from Israel.
That's fact.
Iran is literally 3 countries away from Israel. You have Jordan and you have Iraq in between, and then you have Iran. So keep on that's why I say I think the underestimations are crazy to me. The not believing it can happen to us is the narcissism of this country and a lot of people who live in this country is believing we are invincible. We are the mystery Babylon. There's no getting around it.
Yeah.
We are the great Rome. We are, when it comes to this, this is prophecy fulfilling itself. And that's just the reality.
And it's sad, but true. It's
It's
sad,
the reality.
but it's true. It
You
very
know, and it's like, it sucks. It just sucks. It sucks. It sucks. But for all religious people, this is a time to just pray for protection because it's Iran that made it very clear. You started, we will end it. Remember the lady in the airport?
Yep.
She said we were going to be attacked. And unfortunately, there's so many. So with that, it being true or not being true, it's like our country has done so many sick and twisted things to our people, to start things with other countries, to create chaos in other countries, just all kind of things. They have done it throughout the years. We don't know what is what, but all I know is you can't keep bossing other countries around and not think they're not going to stand up for themselves eventually.
Yeah. And I know I've said before that, and this is just going off of what I believe these people think. They assume that they follow by the usual basis of, like, when the war pops off, yeah, we lose a lot of lives and stuff, but it's an opportunity to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and the basis of basic of things, like both sides of the field make money. Because every bullet, every tank, every jet, every gun ever used it, that's money being exchanged on both sides of the field. Now, we never see any of that money? Absolutely not. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the way it goes. And I was like, but this one right here, there's a lot more at risk than there is to gain, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more at
This is
risk
different.
than it is to gain. And we've been talking about it because we've just been sitting here with, like, held breaths on like what's gonna happen as a people.
Mhm.
And it bothers me because people are sitting around, and I've said this once, I've said it before. Y'all can look at my politics per usual, our politics per usual episodes. We've said it once, we said it before. People stand around and will willingly be dumb than accept the truth that could save their
Mhm.
lives. You will willingly
Yes.
be delusional. Willingly.
Mhm.
Because you know.
Then you got people who willing to stab themselves in the back, hoping that it comes through and stabs you too.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like, you're willingly.
Because how many people? My thing is all of the things that were going on during before election. Oh, she's gonna have us in a war in 2 weeks. She'll have us into a war. Then it was the people who claimed they were trying to say free Palestine, but literally this man got in there and said, "Oh, we will make oceanfront property out of it." Oh, we're gonna get lower groceries, gas and everything's gonna be cheap. Everything's gonna be amazing. Where has any of it happened? It's like we gotta be
This
honest.
is, this is what I'm saying about that. You said you were going to stop a war first day you got in office. Those wars are still going on and actually getting worse. You said that the
Mm-hmm.
grocery prices were going to be lower. No, they're actually sky high. And third, you
Mm-hmm.
said that the economy is going to be great. Well, you started a tariff war that crashed the economy, and the economy is plummeting every day. Every single day, it keeps
Mm-hmm.
going
Our
downward,
dollar is decreasing faster and faster than what it used to be.
decreasing
It's
faster and
decreasing even
faster.
more.
Y'all saying, "Oh wait, it's a bump." And the and stock wise, they said, wait, there's a bump. You know why there's only one reason for that bump is because Trump paused the tariffs and then jacked up China's to 125%. And
Which does
everybody
not
looks at the
affect them, it
prediction.
only affects us.
And I was like, and the prediction is that little bump is gonna plummet. And I'm like, look, we're back up. Yeah, you made a bump. But now looking at the prediction of where it's gonna go, because it's a pause
Mhm.
on the tariffs that this dumbass put in place. Now it's about to plummet. And y'all think the Great Depression was bad. Okay.
Mm.
Y'all just sit around and just keep watching. Cause and on top of all of the stuff we just said on what this man
Mhm.
has done and not acted on, he just bombed first. And I'm saying him because in all actuality it was him. He didn't even go through the proper process of
But,
what we have to go through to do that.
mm,
But y'all want to still continue to keep being delusional, still continue to follow this idiot, still believe in this dude because you have nothing else left to
mhm.
believe in. You've invested too much to go back. So you got to see it through, my boy.
Yep, that's all we can
And,
do now is just sit
and,
and
and for
watch.
all of y'all non delusional MFs that decided to vote for him, be ready to be on the front lines. Be ready to be on the front lines. Since y'all so
Mhm.
big and bad and y'all believe in him so damn much and you're so delusional, be ready to be on the front lines.
Mm.
Let's see how you really is. Let's see how real loyal you are. Let's see if you really about it. Because I guarantee you, if anything, if they even try to think about doing the draft, I'm not going. Like, nope, nope. I don't care what you try to sway me with. I don't care what you try to get me with. No.
Mm-mm-mm. So I think right now we are officially in a whole nother type of waiting game. of what's going to come from this.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there are a lot of people's hearts that's probably heavy like ours of like, we did not ask for this. This is not what we wanted. This is not peace. You know, we can't think we can do that. We can try to do a little repeat of 2001. I mean, even if you think of the least case scenario and Iran doesn't do anything very, very dramatic, think how long we were in that war. We were in that war for so long. We grew up, me and you were kids, and grew up with all of those deployed soldiers
Yep.
who came back and was scarred for life.
And was never the same.
For us to go into something else. And we, so that's all I have on it right now. Um, that's all I got.
This may be a multiple part series because we will keep y'all posted. Because
It's ongoing.
this right here is very important. We may be talking on
Yeah.
different subjects, but we will come back to this particular subject because this one, I believe, we're going to see in the next couple of weeks and months.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about to go down. And
And
we'll keep
remember, Iran took 6 months before they retaliated on Israel.
all facts.
So I think um, it's definitely one of those things that's life altering. Now, for some people right now in America, they might not think it's going to be life altering to them because they're like, well, I'm not in the Middle East. I'm not over there where they're fighting. I don't have anybody in the military. But it's going to affect us in so many different ways. And it's one of those things that we will be just watching how things unfold. Um, I already know that they've made it clear Iran is not backing down. Um,
When they started burning the flag on television, I was like, "Ooh, this ain't funny
yeah,
anymore."
they're not backing down, and I fully understand why they're not.
Me too.
Um, I think I want to close with this when it comes to the innocence and how they're suffering. I was at the park today and the kids were playing. There's a little baby crawling around. Um, Innocent little baby. Sweet, just a cute little innocent little baby. Think about those little babies, all those children that was in hospitals, all those innocent people who was in those hospitals got flattened, demolished in the Gaza Strip. There's no hospitals in the Gaza Strip anymore because they blew them all up, saying that the Hamas was there. Innocent lives. Um, Now imagine us having that happen here. Like, I think we're it's too late to think because it might just be reality for some of us one day. That's all I got.
I'm gonna say this to every sane mind American that just takes the time to listen to us and hear us out. Now is the time more than ever to
Sorry.
pray and lean on God's understanding because I feel that there's some things that are about to come that our human minds can't understand without it.
Mm-hmm.
And we definitely need to lean to his guidance.
For real.
I mean, the air feels different. And I'm not even worried about me, but I'm worried about my nephew being called.
I don't think that's the part that we have to worry about.
But I'm worried. No, listen, I'm worried about like I'm just speaking from my perspective because it's what affects me directly and stuff that My mind just thinks that. But I do believe that we got to have make sure our souls are all right, because this is something that the bulk of us didn't ask for. And come what may, I feel that like this man is putting us in a position where we'll have to answer for things that we didn't ask for in the first place. We didn't ask for none of this.
At all.
And it's sad, but it's true. Because for him to take this type of direction,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, if this doesn't show the people in power on both sides, if this doesn't show you this man does not care about either one of y'all's interests, he doesn't care. Y'all need to stop fighting within yourselves and start looking at the bigger picture. Y'all got to come to some form of understanding, because this can't go on. Because if it does, there is no more America.
Yeah, it might be too late for that.
And it might be too late for that, but I'm still saying.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it goes. This all we can do is just sit back now. So with that being said, this has been the Artist and the Thinker.
Thank you guys for tuning in.